Hey folks, it's me, Manic Mark. Coming to you today from the underground bunker system located somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest with an early morning tragedy. It just doesn't pay to get up in the morning some days. And on top of that, instead of just turning my machine on and going right to YouTube, and therefore, starting this cycle, the daily cycle of avoiding certain responsibilities like taking care of the house and other things I need to do. Not that there's a problem with that. It's fine to spend 12, 13 hours a day YouTube, isn't it? I think it is. So, but I thought today I would do some laundry this morning, so I did that. And there's this stuff, all this stuff needs to be kind of straightened up because I just do things and kind of let stuff stack up. So I'm starting to do that, and I've got like a half a case of Bud Light Lime, sitting in front of the beer refrigerator. It needs to go in. So I'm going to straighten up some boxes. So I started putting bottles of Bud Light Lime in the beer refrigerator, and I kind of started to run out of space, and I put them in horizontally, because I buy the long neck versions of the bottles. Cans are fine, but bottles are, if I have my preference, I'll buy bottles. And so I put them in sideways on a shelf, right? Well, the refrigerator kind of sits on a little bit of a slant, because I've never taken the time, because I'm always on YouTube, to shim it up. I mean, there's a million things to do around here. I can't just do all of them, so I avoid as much as I can. And a bottle started to slide out. I thought, oh, there's this moment of horror. And I reached up, and I knew I could get the one bottle, but then another bottle started to slide out. So I had a bottle in my hand that was going to go in, and two bottles sliding out. What was I going to do? Well, it was limited to 2 bottles. And this is what's left. You can see the cap blew off of this one, and the cap's still sort of on this one. And they all foamed up, and in an instant I tell you, the delicious Bud Light Lime lifeblood was pouring out onto the floor of my basement. Tragic. So, even though it's only about 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and finish what's left of these warm, half-dead Bud Light Limes, because I can't see this going to waste. And I'm going to play a track from the Manic Mark Vault of Treasures. Now I'm going to sneeze. I sneeze when I get upset. And I'm going to play a track. So I'm going to sit here and finish these warm Bud Light Limes and play a track for you out of the Manic Mark Vault of Audio Treasures.
She had one stainless steel blue eye. That one looked like a button. One screwed in and one screwed out. You had to be very careful. Her vision depended on it. She only came out once every 8 months. Looked around. Saw that her eyes were screwed in and screwed out right. Took a little walk. Whistled through her toes. And with all 3 hands on her hips, went back in for another 8 months. I don't know how she did that. She must have had a pipeline to a store, because she ate regularly, had to eat just like we do. Only one thing was crazy about that woman. She had to drink rusty water. Oh, she had all the kids in the neighborhood running after rusty water. Funny. One of nature's mistakes. One of nature's mistakes. Wire hair she had, yes. Animals couldn't get near her. Their backs went up, stiff, they grimaced. Oh, I'm sorry, have another cup. Have another cup. Would you like something a little bit stronger? Cider? At first we were all afraid of her. All afraid of her. All the kids had to stay home. Couldn't pass her house. Then we dug a fallout shelter. And everybody that passed her house had to go down into the fallout shelter and out, take a shower before they came out. But that was ridiculous. She was not radioactive. I knew that from the beginning. She lived there too long. Besides, we all watched her grow up. She was only young, you know. She was a baby. As a baby, she had little wire hairs. I know. And she was put together in threes. Sections of three. Very nice girl. Oh, very nice girl. No one ever saw her mad. God knows what would happen if she got mad. I'd hate to have her point at me. Well, yes, her fingers lit up. Little sparks flew. Yes, her toes too. She couldn't wear shoes. No. She wore scooped out cement blocks. I know, very heavy. That's why she was so tired. Her name? Oh, Valeria Strumpet. Strump, not Strump. No. That's very funny. Well, Valeria was an old Roman goddess, I guess, or an old, at least she was a princess or a queen. I know the Strumpets were normal. Normal pair. Can you imagine having an electric monster like that? Poor Valeria. No, nobody knew her well enough to call her Val. Sad, isn't it? All through life, Valeria, without a nickname. So, waste somehow.
Well, I hope you like that audio interlude from the Manic vault of audio treasures. And I hope to have many more. And, you know, I've solicited LPs. And I think I'd define what makes an LP great for me. And then, you know, in turn for other people, I hope. It's if an LP was made with serious intent and through a variety of factors, usually some age dates material, and that helps the material seem humorous to us because we're so much more advanced than whenever the LP was made. So if people are serious about what they're doing, but it doesn't really work, then it becomes a treasure. Comedy LPs, I have yet frankly, you know, I haven't seriously looked, but, you know, somebody offered very kindly, you know, a comedy LP. Well, even old comedy LPs, especially well-known ones, are not going to, you know, they're set in their time, and there's probably certain things that are humorous from a historical perspective when we look back, but mostly it was professional, you know, kind of a professional deal put together. Now, I'm sure they're like off-label, independent, some people doing stand-up out there that could be pretty good, but I think that would be a real rarity. I haven't run into anything like that, so comedy LPs don't usually work. So it's usually instructional stuff, like educational stuff, old educational stuff, that can be pretty funny. Because there's people up there telling you what you should do and you should be like, when they're pretty much full of crap. Or maybe the underlying science is okay, but the presentation is like couched in the cultural environment of the day. Therefore, it's humorous because we're so far advanced. But like what I did with you know, Becky Ryan, you know, the Becky Ryan story. And that's not an extreme example. I know there are better examples out there, but that's like a pretty good example. Oh my God, this was a cold Bud Light line. The horror! The horror!